And we should talk about what happened last.
Please.
You guys got to this moon of Neptune, and it turned out to be a small space station base that had three main structure sections, sort of a living quarters and recreation area, an area where they were doing science, and the newest section, which was the command department. You guys got dropped off in your ride, and then you walked into that general area, that recreation area, and talked to some people, and started to get the ball rolling on trying to find a ride out of town. And somebody rolled a fail, and an alert came over the station intercom announcing that there was an impact or imminent, and the two people you were with led you to one of the shelters that burrows down into the moon's surface. And then there was a big calamity, and then you guys cracked the shelter to find that the station had been hit by a ship crashing, and you were cut off from the other departments. And then you kind of split the party, found a vac suit, and loaded up Reggie with oxygen and sent him out towards the command section. And then you also went looking for places to wriggle through to the other department, to the science department, and Julian and Spencer were able to shimmy through some vents to the science department, and Enzo stayed in the recreational quarters section. Reggie was on the closer to the crash site where he was. He saw that the ship had a blown open door, and there was some sort of trail of footprints leading into the base where it had been blown open. And then he was attacked by something he didn't quite see. And then you guys explored the science department and found a rover vehicle and some more vac suits and headed out to try to get over to where Reggie was. And Reggie got into the base and then found the command room at the same time the monster found him, and fought a monster which was clearly some kind of human that had been infected by something. And then you guys showed up at the nick of time after picking up Enzo to finish off the monster. And then Julian got on the controls and was able to send a message to company on Mars to try to send a ship to pick you guys up. He also noted that there was a CD ship in the area. You also learned that the ship that was crashed was some kind of CD controlled science vessel. Then you guys went back to the main chamber, gathered all the survivors, and started to get wiggy with each other, and then locked everybody but the four player characters in one of the shelters, including the remaining scientists were there, and Leah and Giuseppe
And Maria.
Right.
Yeah, we got the computer, right?
Yes, and then you got a data core from. Thank you for reminding me of that. You got a data core from the.
Yeah, I have the dead body data device.
Yeah, and I have the damaged data core.
Yes. You guys have collected multiple bits of evidence. So you guys have data, incriminating data, essentially. Everyone right now is locked in a shelter beneath you. I want to also say that with that, what do you want to do? Trapped on this moon.
First things first, I'd like to etch a scratch mark into my gun and just like in the corner, just saying nothing.
I want to call back to the company on Mars. Hey, you got an ETA on that rescue?
Roll charisma.
7.
It takes a while. You have to go through multiple people for a while.
Is there anybody on this channel?
Until you find somebody who can help you.
Is there anybody on this channel?
Yeah, you're on. See, the ship should leave in about 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
We're gonna run out of supplies by then. Can't you put a little pep in your step?
I don't know that I can do much. She's like, no, basically. She doesn't seem like she has much authority.
Okay, 3 days. We'll see what we can do before you guys get here.
She's like, all right, have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
I would like to see if I can find a piece of scrap paper and like a pen of some kind or something to write with and start mapping out what's left of the center.
Okay, make an intelligence roll.
That's going to be a 7.
You make your rough map, and I'll say you get a one-time +1 that you can use related to navigating or finding something or in the shelter somewhere.
Then I'm going to stand up, cock my gun, and put it back in its holster.
What's Enzo and Reggie doing?
There's a lab here, right? Yeah, I'm gonna try to fuck with this data core and see if I can maybe do a little repair. I got these nanobots. Maybe they could do some little nano repairs on it or something.
Yeah, roll your intelligence.
11.
Well, yeah, you have your way with the core and you're able to get it operational. And if you want to plug it into your thing, your personal data device, and you can start looking at what's on there.
Let's see what we got.
There's a lot of stuff on there.
I want to know specifically hybrids. Maybe I'll search the tags hybrids, humans, experiments. I want to see what the fuck attacked us.
Hybrid doesn't bring up anything. Human brings up a lot of stuff, most of it human resource related. Experiments, though, that's a little more interesting. You start muddling through scientific gobbledygook, which you mostly make sense of, and you start to see there's a sample number, it's a code, letters, and numbers, and you start to see that sample number come up a bunch in all sorts of tests that are being run, and more. And as you get deeper into later on, as time moves forward through these reports, everything starts to be about this one sample and how it behaves. You open one and it talks about how they believe it's replicating, and then you open one a few days later and they talk about how it's notably gained in size, like a measurement size, and how it's starting to push on its petri dish. And then one of them talks about it breaking through the petri dish and being inside this box that it's contained in. And then the last entry in the lab part about experiments talks about how they don't know how much longer they can contain it. And that's the last entry.
While he's reading through that, can I be looking around the lab for anything useful for my adventure pack?
That's actually what I was going to do as well, because you asked what Reddy's doing. Yeah, because like if we got attacked by that thing, I'm trying to find anything and everything to use against this monstrosity.
I'd actually like to be a little more specific and look for Bunsen burners, something like that, or like scalpels, tools, knives, metal that I can use to put onto my scrap blade.
Well, you both need to roll wisdom to find things.
That's going to be a natural 9.
I don't find anything because I rolled a 5. So that's experience, but I rolled a 5.
You move some stuff and part of the damage station falls on you and you take 2 damage. Spence, you find
Bunsen burner?
you guys are just leaving all these people in this hole in the...
I'm gonna go down to the bunker. I'll knock on the door.
They open it up.
What are you, crazy? I could have been anybody. See, that's the problem, and that's what I came down here to tell you to do. You don't open this door for anybody. Okay, but except for me and for maybe Enzo. But anyone else comes down here and tries to open this door, you don't let them.
The lady looks at you and says, tell me again why you're in charge and why we're in this bunker.
I walk over and shut the door. I proceed to walk back over to Reggie, and I use one of my bandages to med him back to full health.
All right, so I am going to let everyone know what I learned from the data core.
What do you say?
Either it looks like they either created some kind of virus or creature or found some kind of virus or creature that grew and took over their ship, and that was the result of, or that's what we saw from that one guy.
Whoa. Are you implying that there are more of these things?
I'm saying that there could be. I think
Mamma
maybe we should be
mia.
in that bunker too. I don't know. We can't get in, right? We're good. We everything's sealed off.
I feel like it's smarter to stay out here and make sure, they're protected. We can stay out here and know when things are coming in. We can keep the comm on. I feel like it's smart that way.
Yeah, listen, fellas, the rescue ship isn't coming in for 3 days, so we just gotta sit tight until then.
About the time you say 3 days, the communication device that Enzo made starts to squawk as it's picking up a signal.
Hello? Anybody there?
This is the Constellation Directorate vessel Razor. Come in Alpha Station.
I grab the device and I say, "This is Alpha Stations. How may I be of assistance?"
We are looking to make landing and investigate the crashed vessel.
We ain't got nothing to do with that. Just us scientists down here.
We will be approaching the station in the next hour.
Copy that. See you in an hour.
And then there's no response.
What do we do?
I'd like to be checking the comm device that I got off the dead body.
Make an intelligence check.
8.
So there are some messages on there, or rather there is stored data on there you can't access that is encrypted. But you can access most of the functions. This person has just somehow taken a small space of the memory and cut it off from the rest of the system. It's trying to clearly hide this data, but you can't access. You do access the last video that the person took on their device. and it is a person in a dark corner huddled over the device. You just kind of see the light from the device, and they're looking around, and I don't know how much longer we're going to be alive at this point, so I just thought if there's any time to record a last will and testament, it's now. And then he starts listing people's names and his relation to them and something heartfelt. And you realize that this person made this video probably right before the creature ripped it. This is a message that if somebody finds this, maybe you can get this to my family so they know what happened.
I'd like to see if he has any credited money on his device.
Okay, you have to roll intelligence again to hack in.
That's an 11.
I'll give the party one additional wealth point.
We just took all his life savings.
Yeah.
You emptied this person's account. They had a decent amount of money. They had like $1,000 or something.
I mean, he's dead. He's not gonna miss it.
Yeah, he's gone, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, to be fair, he did make a last will and testament.
Cool. So I stole this man's money. I look over at Julian. Hey, Julian, get this. I got this guy's life savings.
Hey, we could invest that into the business.
Yes, sir. You know what I got it for.
I'll tell Anthony Bassiccioli about you. I'll give you a good recommendation.
If the CD is coming, I feel like there's only two courses of action we can take. Either we could try to physically take them over, which I don't think we can, or we could trick them.
I say we go disguise route.
Yeah, I think we could mess with the computers and put our faces and stuff as the people who died, pretend that we're the doctors.
Hey, Enzo, why ain't you the one in charge if you're so smart?
What? No, hey, you're the boss, Julian. You're the boss.
Hey.
Blue jackets for life.
And muscles
Blue
over here.
jackets, baby.
We're a
Let's
team.
go.
We're a team.
Blue dragons for life.
So I'm gonna go to the computer and try to fucking change some personnel files so that we are the new, not our names. Just I think we should just change pictures, right? They're saying profiles, just to change the pictures to make PS. Maybe fingerprints too, or whatever they fucking need us to do.
Okay, roll intelligence.
13.
With a 13, you're able to fabricate you guys all station identifications. You just take the identities of somebody that's not alive anymore, that died, and plaster your face on it and your physical data. Maybe you take a little scan of like it's a scan tool. You scan everybody. So that when if somebody scans that ID for the station, they see it's you, but with this different person's name. And then if somebody goes through the station records, they also see that those people are you.
Ooh, can I do for Maria and Giuseppe as well?
Sure.
All of us? Yeah, because there was 10 people you said on the station, right? And there's only 2 left. There's a few
identities. There's 3 people left.
Yeah, so you can mess with we have a few identities. Okay, cool. So does everyone should we just choose our own name, new identity names?
Yeah, I'll be what was his name? Charlie? I'll be Charlie.
You're all Charlie's alive.
Oh,
I know. So in that moment, I'm gonna open the door.
I know.
And kill
And
Charlie.
I'm gonna cap the last 3 people right there.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna cap
Because
the last 3
they're not going to
scientists.
go along with us.
No, I'm gonna cap the last 3 scientists right there.
Hey, I like this guy. He's always thinking on his feet.
This is a broad gesture. Does anyone intervene?
I have a huge smile on my face while he's doing this.
No one can intervene because I have quick draw, so no one can stop.
You have to physically open that thing, so that doesn't apply to quick draw. You have to physically open a thing. You have your gun out and you're opening a thing with murder in with that smile you make when you murder people.
Just love killing people.
All right.
Anyone stop me? No. All right.
I'm not going to stop you. I've
I've
got an alignment statement to fulfill. So,
well, I just see it as you kind of just went off and made this decision on your own, and you just did it, and we couldn't stop you because you didn't tell us what you were doing.
Yeah, I didn't say anything. I just went and did it.
Okay, so you just give me 1 roll just to make sure you don't fuck up and murder Maria.
That's a tip.
So you open the thing, and Veronica looks up at you, still confused after the half conversation she had with Julia, and you pop her in the face.
Before I shoot them, I go, "I'm the big iron."
Okay, you pop those 3 people. Maria screams in horror.
Whoa, Spency, what are you doing?
Had to get rid of the evidence.
Whatever. These were innocent scientists. Now the big brains are just splattered all over the wall.
Look, we needed their IDs. They couldn't be alive for that. They were casualties from the start. We all know that.
I can't believe you would do this. And I walk off somewhere else.
I walk off and I start to clean my gun in the corner.
knowing that we have these guys coming, I'm trying to clean up as best as possible.
Yeah, I'm going to actually, Reggie, put on a suit. We're going to take these bodies outside.
Can I look around for a lab coat?
Yeah, you can have a lab coat, yeah. Where's Lepka?
Sure.
So I'm gonna put on a suit, and me and Reggie are gonna take these bodies outside. Do I need to do a strength, or do we have to do strength checks, or is it?
No, the systems are working. So you put on a suit. You do need to find oxygen to operate the suits. So are you spending adventuring gear, or did you have another plan for that?
Put them in the vacuum room and open the vacuum seal and let them float out.
I think that's a good idea.
I was gonna throw them with my magic just out into space.
Or put them in the
Magic.
container that we came in.
Oh, we could do that too. They're not.
As long as we do a substantial hiding of these bodies, I think we'll be fine.
How much adventuring gear do we have left? I have 2. Who else is?
I have 2.
I'm not taking part of this.
Like, I don't have that, but
I'm not
I
taking
have
part of
a,
this.
As
I have a plus 2 in
character.
con, so if I need to, I can just hold my breath for just a little bit just to take those bodies out. Just something real quick like that.
What if you help Enzo get them out there? Enzo, I'll give you one of mine, so you still have 2. I walk over to everybody and with my head down, and I put my gun away, and I go, "Look, guys, I'm sorry. I know that was out of hand. We need to get this solved, and thank you guys for wanting to help me move the bodies. And while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna help Giuseppe and Maria out. I'm gonna clean up down there. Here's an oxygen tank. Go ahead and get rid of this shit." And so I'm gonna clean up and get Giuseppe and Maria out.
Maria is like shell shocked. Giuseppe's just kind of like shaking his head. Like he seems a little bit like you get the vibe like this isn't how we did it in the Space Dragons. This isn't how Max Grenade operates.
It's fine. This is how I operate. This is how Big Iron operates.
You and Reggie move some bodies over to the. Why don't you roll? One of you roll strength and one of you roll aid to see
I'll
how
roll
far
strength because I have
the
high
bodies
strength.
we were trying to go.
Yeah, +3, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll roll 8 then. So I got 11 on 8. And I got
All
1.
right, well, I rolled a 12 plus my 3 is 15.
So 16. You picked
16.
all 3 bodies up.
No problem. Apparently, they were relatively lightweight fellows, and Reggie just straight up puts 2 over his shoulder and then helps you carry the third one. And you guys get over to whatever airlock you're using, probably the closest one, I assume. Enzo puts on a suit, gasses up. Reggie helps close him in the airlock. You evacuate the room with air and open the lock, and then you're rolling intelligence to use your gravity powers.
While they're doing that, I want to go back to the control room.
Yeah.
And I just want to get familiar with the equipment. I'm looking for atmospheric controls, door controls, PA system,
Roll intelligence
lights.
to figure out the computer.
12.
You can name any given system of the thing and try and operate it.
I'll put that in my back. I am
Hey,
just
guys.
sitting there studying the equipment and preparing for CD's arrival.
I'm gonna hurl these bodies into space. Do I have to do one by one, or do like a fucking bump and just bump them all out?
I think it depends how good you are.
A 9.
Okay, you kind of have to hustle them out. You get a system going, but it does take a little bit of time. And as you toss them out and you throw them at an angle and they just like arc away from the moon, being grabbed by its gravity as it slowly arcs away. And you're not sure if they have exit velocity from the planet's gravity or not, but they are now scattered in at least into the sky, if not into.
All right.
And about that time, you see a ship start to come around the moon.
I see it coming in, and
moon on
I message the boys, be ready.
So you're assumably still in the recreation area where all that stuff happened. And then the Julian is in the...
Can I make a quick roll to make sure I cleaned up that
Oh,
bunker
yes.
area?
Cool. So you clean that up and you get up and you close the hatch and you're standing in that room with Maria and Giuseppe. As you look down at your outfit and your lab coat now has blood all over it from cleaning it up, and then you hear the airlock open towards the landing bay. There's another the CD coming in.
I quickly just take the lab. Actually, I'm gonna leave the lab coat on.
Before we continue, I need to clarify where everybody is. I'm pretty sure I know where Julian and Spencer are. Reggie and Enzo, I guess that depends where you went to throw bodies out. Did you go to the science lab where the truck was sitting? Did you use one of these airlocks that had come down when the space station was damaged?
I think we'll use that one because I think those would be easier to access for us.
Yeah, whatever was closest to the.
Okay, so that means you're still in the same section as Spencer. You're just in a different room, essentially.
Yeah, but we saw the ship come, so we had time to go back inside, right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to get everyone's location. So did you try to go back? Did you go back then? Are you in the same room as Giuseppe and Spence and
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm still wearing the spacesuit too. I'm gonna keep that on.
Okay.
You guys can say you took yours off to put the suits on. You guys still have the suits on, and you were doing reconnaissance on the fallen ship.
I think I'm still wearing my suit. I'm too paranoid that something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, and then Julian, you could just classify yourself as like a more businessman of the station.
No, we had technical problems. We had airlock failure. Come on, kid. It ain't my first rodeo.
Yeah. You're right.
Just keep your
Well, I gotta
head
get in the
down.
character.
Keep calm, and we'll get through this.
You're in front of the main computer and you have access to most all the systems that are still functional on the station. So obviously you're not in the room. So I'm going to let you just let me know if you take an action with the computer. Right? You know what I mean? Because you're basically the eye in the sky now watching it on the screen. What happens now is a squadron of 5 people walk into the room in the full CD armor. The CD armor is white and it is sleek, futuristic armor looking, real tapered in, made by Tesla or something. The boots are big and stuff, makes everybody a little taller and broader that wears it. It makes them visually feel larger than life. It almost has a costume-like quality to its appearance. And it has full helmet and stuff, so you cannot see these people's faces. And the squadron of 5 dudes, 4 of them are armed up with their guns and kind of scan the room. First point at you guys, and then check the rest of the room. And the 5th person is dressed in an officer's uniform. And they walk very gingerly into the room. He walks over to the group of 5 of you and says, hello.
And I immediately walk over with my hands up like this and go, officer, it's been really crazy. Please help us.
See that. What exactly happened here?
There was a crashed ship and we lost a lot of people. We lost a lot of the scientists. I barely know what happened. I luckily got into a bunker. And then when I came out, there was someone who ran at me and I had a scalpel in my hand. So I was able to defend myself, but he didn't seem human anymore. And I'm just like, and I'm trying to seem as like out of it as possible and just fucking scared as possible.
Roll charisma.
8-10.
This person
9
believes.
plus 1.
Take a deep breath, and why don't you have a seat? Clearly, you're all very shaken.
Okay.
Now-
Do you have any water?
Certainly. And they gesture towards one of their men, and that person pulls out like a canteen.
And I take it and I sit down just like against the wall, like I'm still fucking shaking. And it's like slowly slide down like it's a horror movie.
Can one of you tell me who is in charge now? She kind of looks at all of you. Giuseppe's all wrapped up, and Maria.
What was the name of the boss from before?
Commander Cliff.
So he was the head of the space station.
I say none of us become Commander Cliff.
Yeah, Commander
Oh,
Cliff should be
Cliff
dead.
he died. Yeah, he died. In the accident.
Exactly.
Well, it was the commander, Mr. Cliff. But he died in the accident.
Okay, can we just say that I made Julian's the highest ranking official left, so we'll just be like his character.
Doctor G would be in charge now.
And where is this Dr. Giannopoulos?
And I take a slow hand, shaky, and point to Julian, aka Dr. G.
No, Julian's in the command center, right?
Yeah, Julian.
Yeah, like towards the direction of Dr. G, towards the command center.
Why don't you all gather yourselves? I will come speak to you individually here in a moment. And she pulls aside one of her soldiers and having some sort of conversation about the legitimacy of the structure and its damage. It's kind of a hushed conversation.
I start to walk back over during that hushed conversation and try to hand their canteen back to them, trying to listen in on it. So I'm going to use my dex for that.
Okay, just stealth up.
Yeah, stealth up. Trying to act casual, but being light-footed so they don't hear me walking up on them. 12.
Okay, you sneak up to these people and you hear them talking about trying to figure out. She mentions that you said something about not being human anymore and that there have been a breach of contamination and that they need to figure out if it is still active. And this is the part of the conversation they do.
So the CDC is aware of the aliens.
They're the cause of the aliens.
We don't know that.
Isn't that what your documents?
No,
data
it didn't
core
say
said?
where they got it from. It just said that they were testing it. So I don't know we don't know if they made it or if they found it.
I walk up and shakily go, here's your canteen back there. Thank you for the water.
So as you reach out, like you can see the soldier is a little like jumpy as you approach, and like has his gun on you once he notices you're.
I jump back like immediately and go, hey. I was just trying to give you your canteen back. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
And the officer picks up the canteen and hands it to the soldier and gently puts an arm on you and turns you back towards the group and says, I think it's time I have some conversations with y'all so we can figure out exactly what happened here.
I'm going to step forward and I'm going to say, Lieutenant, we need to get out of here. I'm going to say, I'm not an expert in the field of extraterrestrials or viruses or whatever is going on here. I want to make it sound like I kind of know what's going on without completely saying I know what's going on. We're not safe here. I saw what that thing could do. We need to go. And I'm using, hopefully that's pretty logical, right?
Yeah.
So that is shit, dude. A 7.
So mixed results. She says to you, well, it seems that you know a little bit more. So why don't we start by talking to you? And she says, I assure you, my forces can handle whatever is here. Would you mind stepping into this room and having a conversation with me? And she gestures to a quarters that happens to be off this, or maybe some office room. Could we have a conversation, please?
Right as that's all happening, I would like to try nonchalantly walk out of vision of all of the officers and just act like I'm just pacing.
So if you're pacing, they're watching you. So you're going to take a -1 to doing that. They're sensitive to what you're doing.
Well, then can I just make a straight stealth roll to try and sneak
You'll
out?
take a -1. Yeah, because they are more hyper aware of you.
Can I ask one of the guards to escort me to the bathroom?
Roll charisma.
I'm gonna walk up to the one that gave me the canteen too.
As you walk up to them, they point their gun at you.
Oh, hey, I was just gonna ask, you guys got the good weaponry here, so can one of you escort me to the bathroom, please?
Roll.
Maybe a 10.
Kind of lowers his weapon and kind of looks at you. Does a head movement that suggests he rolls his eyes under his thing, and he calms into, well, I guess she's right there, gesturing towards Enzo to enter the room, and says, this one wants to go to the bathroom. And the lieutenant looks over and says, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to hold on a little bit longer. And then gestures towards Enzo, would you mind coming in here and having a conversation with me, please?
Yeah, it's, as long as we can make it quick. I really gotta go.
I'm going to look at the lieutenant. I'm going to say, Lieutenant, I am not going to be giving a statement here. I can give a statement on your ship, but I will not be giving a statement here. We are not safe. You did not see what we saw. Me and my team here are just scientists. We were scared for our lives. You need to get us off this ship or off the station. And that is going to be a 14.
Nods, and she says, I must warn you that the accommodations on the ship are, less accommodating. Our vessel is not a luxury vessel. You will be placed in the brig. It is the only place we have to take passengers.
Fair enough. As long as there's a bathroom.
There is a bathroom in the brig. If you all consent to being placed in the brig of my vessel,
Yeah, they can deal with the monster, bro.
I must tell you, you are being placed in the brig.
Right, but I'm saying like we're not gonna be harassed like prisoners.
I have no intention of harassing you. I will want to speak with you about what has happened here, about this traumatic event you've all shared.
I'm more than happy to speak about it. I just need a little bit of time and obviously a bathroom. And I start to hold my chest like I'm going to hurl.
Okay, and she looks at her troops and she says, please escort all these folks to the brig. And you are marched out to the airlock part that is connected to her ship, and you are led into a CD vessel.
I'm one-arming Giuseppe, making sure he gets there fine.
Yeah, so you get to the brig, and it's a bunch of small, narrow cells, and they put you each in your own little cell. It's like a room with a bunch of walls, kind of almost like stalls in a men's bathroom when you have the thing between the urinal, except there's like it's a full box that has like a laser door style, force field door, like Star Trek style, and you each get put into one of these, including Maria and Giuseppe.
I immediately pretend hurl into the toilet.
Question. We didn't get like patted down or anything like that, right?
No, they just put you in them. They do turn on the force field doors. And then the lieutenant is left on the station. She reaches for her communicator and starts to call out on the ship's signals for Justin Giannopoulos. Come in, Justin Giannopoulos?
Yes, this is Dr. Justin Giannopoulos.
Yes, Dr. Giannopoulos. We have the others aboard our ship. Very conveniently, I might add.
Oh, that's great news. I'll be headed down there shortly. I've just been dealing with some technical issues with the station. A ship crashed into it and all, but I'll be there right away.
Excellent.
Dr. Giannopoulos out.
What is your intentions now, Julian?
I'll walk out to the area where their ship landed, and I'll go up to the Lieutenant CD Constellation Directorate's doing a bang up job. You keep up the good work.
She nods and she flashes you like her identification and your identification.
So, where have you taken my fellow scientists?
They are currently, they willfully submitted to being imprisoned in my brig.
Excellent. And where is our destination?
Well, that depends on what we find here and what we're doing with your friends.
Do you need any assistance with your investigations? We are some of the most sought out minds in the galaxy. That's why they put us here.
She nods and says, "Are you going to be joining us?" And just to her ship.
I best keep with the group.
And she nods and so she says, do you submit to be taken to the brig then?
I do.
She escorts you personally down the brig and gestures towards one of the open cells.
You know, I've been thinking recently that I need to pay more tax.
She smiles at that.
More taxes.
Locks you in one of the rooms and then unlocks Enzo's room and says, "Will you please come with me?"
Everyone's on the thing now?
Yeah, everyone's on the ship locked in a cell. She's unlocked your cell and gesturing for you to come with.
I think it might be time to get this party started. I am going to throw my knife at her, and that is going to be a 12. So now I'm throwing my knife with the gravity, my gravity thing, and it's going to be a 12. And now I do my damage, which is I got a 5 on the D6, and I got a 2 on the D4. So it is going to be 7 damage.
So you force wing this blade at her, and it digs into her chest deep. And she curls over as it slams into her. Does anybody else want to do anything before I take my turn?
We're in individual cells?
Yes.
He's doing this right in the brig.
Yeah, he
Okay.
unlocked the door. The door's on. He's still physically standing in his cell. She unlocked the door, and he went boom and threw a knife into her chest.
We go die today, baby.
Enzo's throwing his knife at this lady. Is that's what's going on? Pull out my gun and take a ricochet shot because I'm assuming that she's not in my immediate vision. So I'm gonna shoot off the corner of my cell.
There's walls beside you and above you, and then a force field sealing the front. So you were essentially in a sealed box.
That would
So
that would be the trick of the shot, is that he gets through the force
Through the
field.
force field.
The force field. You got to do.
on.
Wow.
Ben, you need to give me an intelligence check first to figure out what frequency the barrier is oscillating. You need to have a two-step process here. It's a siege spell. It's not a fucking. You're not in a jailhouse in the Wild West.
That's a natural 12.
I bet I could do this. And then, what is Julian or Reggie want to do something?
I'm going to put on my iron mask, and I'm just going to start headbutting the force field with pure strength. 10.
I think you smack your head off it, and it bounces, and then you smash your head into it, and you're able to push your face into the thing.
Yeah, Johnny.
Like it's holding onto your face, and you start to pierce through like this. And that's about as far as you
Here's
can
Johnny.
with the shield at the moment, fully operational.
Maybe I can see if I can bust through the panel and like try to deactivate my force field that way. You know, if they're trying to get out, I gotta try to get out with them as
Yeah,
well. You know, I
punch
gotta
into
help the
the-
team. I'm trying to see if there's like if I can determine where the keypad is on the other side and see if I can destroy it somehow, like punch through the metal or whatever and grab the wires, cut it or something. 11.
He says protocol Gary Epsilon, and the door in the brig, you're in the room that has all the chambers in it, and the door out of that room slams shut, and then a bigger, slower door seals on that. And that's what she does with her turn, and she looks back at you, Enzo, and says, "I just wanted to talk." She's shown no weapon.
I'm just gonna just finish it off, dude. I don't even want to talk to her. I'm just gonna shoot her. Shoot that Lieutenant Dan 7. I was shooting her with my lightning gun. So my normal damage is going to be a 4, and then the D4 that would be the plus is going to be a 4, so that's 8, and the D4 that's going to be the negative is a 2, so it's 6.
So you already dealt her 6 damage, right? Probably has.
But this is like lightning damage, baby.
So you blast her, and she convulses and then falls to the floor.
I'm assuming she has some kind of device on her so I can open up everyone else's fucking cells.
If you have to roll an intelligence check though to make that work, because you pick up her personal devices and they don't just unlock for you like normal people's devices do. This is all biometrically encoded technology.
A 7 again. Good thing I got such a high intelligence. We'd be fucking dying right now.
Progress, but it's like you're now having to sit here and hack through layers and layers of security. So other people can do stuff.
Can I look to see who's immediately across the room from me in the cells? Like with that scan that I got?
You could probably see the cell directly across from you, right? And maybe the cells to the side.
Can I be in that one? And you just see Julian just like.
Yeah,
You just see his head sticking out.
I say you can see Julian and Giuseppe.
I'm taking a clear shot straight across the panel. That would be the biometric scanner that would be operating the force field for Julian. And I'm shooting that shit with a trick shot for 9.
Fire out, and it hits the thing you want to release Julian, but the shot ricochets and then hits Enzo because he's not protected by a force field.
Julian's released from his cell, and then Lady's dead.
So, Julian, you've just been freed. What do you want to do?
Get the rest of us out of here, but make sure you keep the protected, you know?
I don't know. And I go off and I find the cockpit.
You cannot leave this room.
Come on,
the
bro.
bulkhead is like sealed. When a place is like leaking atmosphere into space, like a bulkhead has been sealed over.
Try to override it. 9.
9, you start to try to hack into the computer, and you see that this is controlled from the bridge, so it's gonna take more than a 9 to get control of this door. Reggie's, you're still stuck in your thing, but you figured out where the control panel is with your wisdom check from earlier.
Yeah, I want to punch through that wall, bro. 12.
Nice. So yeah, you strike the wall and it cracks, and then your force field drops. So your door is open.
Okay, I joined the group.
Cool. So
Try to help them with whatever they're doing here.
Giuseppe and Spencer and Maria are all traps.
Release you? Okay, I release you. Release you, Spency.
You gotta roll to do something to the thing to release
Punch
it.
that fucking scanner.
Okay.
Keep that shit up.
11.
So yeah, somehow you're punching computers to make them work. I don't understand how that works.
I hear it's called percussive maintenance.
I'm gonna grab the communicator or whatever that the lady has.
I'm grabbing my gun out of its holster.
That's a fail.
With that fail, the lights in the room go off. You're in pitch black. Pull up your light and you start whipping it around. It doesn't illuminate a big area, but it does clearly illuminate an area.
My eyes.
And then a moment later, you hear kind of get the glimpse of soldiers there.
I'd like to take a shot.
Okay, you're shooting your gun.
It's natural 10 for 12. That's Nate.
So you blast that fool, and he staggers back, clearly severely wounded, starts coughing out flames, and he is now on fire. Now these other 4 guys are gonna shoot. They seem, even though it's pitch black, to see just fine. Everybody needs to roll Defy Dangers. Now, 3 of you don't have any light source, so you're gonna do this at a -1 because you gotta kind of guesstimate where you're being shot at from and where cover is in the darkness of space.
So I'm going to dive back into my cell.
I'll stand in defense of Enzo. That's going to be a flat 7. I'll deal damage to the attacker equal to my level.
So you deal 3 damage to the person attacking, but
Yeah.
you didn't dodge your attack. You chose to stand in defense of Enzo. You take 7 damage. The rest of the 3 of you still need to give me some kind of roll to defy the danger.
I dove back into my cell with an 11.
Jump out of the way here. I got a 7 out of that.
I'm going to say you dive back into your cell, but
Okay.
the rounds tear up the wall that is giving you cover, and it falls off like it supports that little dividing wall between the cells, so you are no longer in cover. Enzo, what are you doing?
I'll use my gravity, a little gravity thing, push myself to the side. I got a 9. Well, actually, you said a -1 because it was dark. I got an 8.
So you push yourself into cover. Same thing that happened to Reggie happens to you. The cover gets shredded by gunfire, and then it's no longer functional as cover. And then you guys get to do stuff.
I would like to take a trick shot, take cover, and still make a dinger for the first person that's in the doorway, the first person to hit. It's going to be a 10.
Okay, so you hit that person, roll some damage. Now the next hallway that is open to this portal is sharing light with us. What are other people doing?
So I got the nanobite poison thing, and I have two of them. One's just digestible, and one of them is I trained it to throw on someone like acid. I'm gonna get the one that I got for that's like acid, and I'm gonna use my gravity thing to throw it at the crowd of guards that are right there.
Roll intelligence for your
Yep.
gravity throw.
It is an 11.
So they will take damage every turn now as the nanites try to eat away whatever substance they're on, which will eventually be those people's flesh. What's Julian and Reggie doing?
He did that, so I'm trying to rally around my troops. I'm gonna have to try to get into this fight here. But the only thing I can think of is just chucking my laser axe, hoping for the best. It's a 9. Oh no, I rolled a 3. Okay, I rolled a 1 on the D4, so it did 2 damage.
Okay, so you wing your axe at somebody and it laser axes bounces off their armor.
I'm gonna charge down the hallway and slide underneath.
The guards roll dexterity.
Dexterity. And
You pop out of your spot and charge the guards, and then at the last moment dive under the legs as they're distracted by acid and fire, nanite acid and fire. So all these people are fucking taking damage over time. It is their turn. Everyone is going to be shot at again.
even me?
Why don't you give me an odds or evens?
Evens.
Yeah, 4. So not you. The other
Nice.
party members need to make defy dangers as there was another burst of gunfire.
How
From
many guys are left?
There are still 4 standing, but they're all at various levels of from slightly injured to very injured.
How I want to defy danger is just by going as flat as possible on the ground.
Flat Stanley,
Yeah. 10.
you burpee down and the burst of fire flies over your head.
Get a little crispy in here.
I'm gonna say cover because my cover hasn't been blown yet. An 8.
Your cover is now blown. You have no cover left. So this room is slowly just becoming rubble and a shooting gallery as you guys try to take cover behind the walls and they just start shredding them all. Enzo, how are you defying danger?
How high is the roof?
It's probably like an average room height. So what is that, like an 8-foot ceiling or something?
Okay, I'm just gonna use my gravity gun, try to push myself out of the way again, and that's an 11.
You push yourself to the other side of the room and up and over, and the burst of fire hits where you once were. And it's y'all's turns again.
As I'm slipping through their legs and I get up on the other side of them, is there a door at the other end of the hallway?
There is, but as you are now over to it, you realize that that bulkhead has also been closed. Whoever's in charge of that stuff is making calculated choices.
I'm just gonna take another shot trying to go past the person I just hit and hit the person who seems to be standing the tallest. 14.
You roll your damage.
That's gonna be 6.
So there are 2 people that are basically at death's door and another 2 people that are medium injured.
I'm just gonna shoot one of them in the back.
Taking the coward's way out, okay.
9.
Did you shoot the really injured ones?
Whoever's closest to me.
You probably kill that person because they were pretty injured. So that's another one down.
Can I see Julian behind the last guy?
Yeah.
Is there any way I can find more cover? I'm just gonna try to find some cover.
Well, most of the cover has been shot to shit in this room.
Okay, so smash. All right, well then I'm just gonna run to the first guy and I'm gonna judo punch him in the face.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you're good at that.
Judo punch.
Yeah. 7,
That means you trade damage.
3.
Hmm.
Okay.
So
Well, these people are pretty injured. So he shoots you for 5 damage as you run up to him.
Oh,
And
okay. I take 4 because I have armor.
And then you crack him in the face and he falls to the floor unconscious.
So my knife that's sticking out of the lieutenant, I'm gonna use my gravity thing again, grab that, and throw it at one of them. Knife damage. That's an 11. My damage is 7.
So that totally murders that guy. That guy is dead. Then there's one person left now, right?
Yeah.
And they're taking nanite damage. I think they're pretty much dead then as well. I just rolled a 4 on 9 damage. So now that the combat phase is over, what would you like to do?
Grab my axe, and then I'm definitely taking some of their sweet armor.
I'm going to try and check the bodies for any ammunition and also to see what kind of guns they have.
If you're scavenging from the bodies, I think we're doing wisdom on that.
A10.
Well, Reggie, what's up with your...
I rolled a 6, so I'm just gonna say that the nanites and the fire just destroyed all their armor, so therefore there's nothing to be scavenged.
I think you find armor and you maybe start to strip it, but it's going to take a few minutes. And it's at that point you guys hear the next chamber start to open. The closed door that Julian was standing next to begins to open into another dark chamber. What do you want to do?
What did I end up finding?
You get one of their assault rifles and probably another ammo. You would have the FAR tag. It would also be loud. You would also have... What do you guys want to do about this next door opening up?
I switch to my dash mask and I start making my way back to mission control.
So you enter into the next room. It is also dark. So why don't you roll a wisdom?
Crit success.
Excellent. So you turn right and start dashing down that hallway. And as you do so, you hear a door start to close behind you. You guys don't really... You see Julian dart into the darkness and you hear another door.
We hear the door closing in front of us, or a different door?
A different door further into the darkness.
I would like to shine the light and just take an immediate burst fire into the room with the assault rifle.
Roll.
That's gonna be 10.
So you turn your light and you fire, and you hit the shit out of the side of the bulkhead of the ship because there's no one standing there. You shine your light around the space, and it's a junction chamber, and there's a hallway to the left and the right, but the door closed. The door you're closing, the one to the right.
Okay, I'm gonna holster the rifle and try and get into the door.
You get over to the door with that bulkhead that closed.
No, the one that's still open, the one that Julian went into.
No, Julian went into the darkness. You don't know which one Julian went in. And then you heard a door close.
Then I want to get over to the door that closed and try and see if there's a panel that I can hack into.
Okay, you can try to fuck with it. What's Enzo gonna do?
The door open, we don't see anything, nothing comes out.
Nothing comes out. And then you see Spencer start to walk in it, investigate. You see he's got a light. You see he's investigating the door now, another bulkhead that closed.
Well, I'm gonna try to mess with the lieutenant's communicator, phone, whatever, again, and see what I can do about the ship. Or is there like a terminal around here? Can I do it?
Yeah, you could try to fuck with the terminal.
Yeah, so I'm gonna mess with the terminal and see if I can hack the ship a little bit, see what's going
So
on.
the terminal, you get over to it and it's like powered down.
Can I figure out how to turn it back on?
Clearly, like they've turned off stuff where you are intentionally, lights, terminals.
Okay, then I'm just gonna keep following everyone else and go into the other room.
Okay, Reggie, what are you following along, or did you want to do something?
I'm gonna protect Spencer just in case. I'm gonna just protect us 6 because I think Maria and Giuseppe are safer inside their cells still. So
Cool. So you're facing that dark hallway. Why don't you make a wisdom check?
double 6s, bro.
You peer into that darkness and your eyes have began to adjust, and you do make out deeper into the darkness a form moving. It is not a human form. It's low to the ground, and it's kind of churning. Like, it's hard to see detail in the darkness, but there is a form.
We got company. Try to point it to him, and then I take a knee right behind him so that way he can shoot over me and not hit me.
And then I'm gonna flash my light, and same thing I did at the bulkhead. And actually, I would like to take a trick shot, and I'd like to steady my aim with the light, calm myself, use my handgun, and just fire at this object that's moving. That's gonna be 12.
You light it up with the light, and you fire at this gelatinous form that is bouncing around the room. As your bullets are hitting it, it also starts to charge forward towards you. Roll damage.
That's gonna be 8.
Big chunk of it flies off, and it turns and it slams into a vent or something and seems to goop its way and exit the room via some cracks in the walls or something.
Enzo, get on the fucking door and get this shit open now. And
So-
I'm gonna hold looking at that vent, waiting for it to come back out.
We go to Julian. You come around a corner that is lit up, and you're met with several people who have weapons out, trained on you, and then another officer is standing. This person's rank is lieutenant commander. So they outranked the last one.
I throw my hands up and say, I surrender.
They looked at you and they said, "So what's your move?"
I'm surrendering.
Uh-huh.
I start backing
Jeez.
up slowly, and then I sprint off in the other direction.
Okay, you just sprint down another hallway.
Scooby-Doo, losing traction on the ground.
You dart down another hallway. I think you hear the pounding of footsteps as they charge after you.
Am I headed towards a science lab, or...
Roll wisdom to see if you know where you're going.
That's a 4.
You come around a corner and you run, literally physically run into one of the troopers and slam into them. And they dogpile on you and, well, basically arrest you, I guess you could say.
Oh my god, you're all such a bunch of amateurs.
And,
Amateurs.
they pick you up and start pulling you back towards the bridge of the ship. Let's cut back to the people by the door. Enzo, yeah, what are you doing?
The monster is gone, right?
Yeah, as far as you know, it's left the room.
Okay, so who's in the room with me right now? Julian and no, Spencer and Reggie. And we didn't see Julian run off, right? I was just gonna walk further into the place a little bit. Gun
Okay.
out, ready to go. Gun in one hand, gravity thing in the other. Ready to
Walk into the darkness.
get that door open. Is there a no power to this panel as well, or
You can try to restore power to the panel.
10?
Okay, so you rip open the bottom of the panel and start tweaking with it until it starts to flash to life. What are your other guys' moves before my turn?
I am gonna take Scrap Thing out, my knife, and attach it to the end of my gun, and then keep the hold I have on that other hallway.
Okay,
I have my axe out, readied, but I'm going to try to protect the group.
Julian, you are dragged back to the bridge of the ship where that officer is waiting. They strap you to a chair, and one of the guys immediately slams the butt of his rifle into your gut.
Oh,
Lieutenant Commander gets down in your face and says, I don't know what cowboy fucking shit you think you're playing, but now my men are dead.
your men are dead because of their own incompetence.
He looks at the soldier and gives him a nod, and the soldier comes across your face with the butt of the rifle. Whack! And you taste blood. You take 2 damage. It hurts a lot. And he gets back in his face. Incompetence. Incompetence. You bring lunatics aboard my ship, and my men are incompetent?
Your men are the ones who brought those lunatics onto the ship, so I had nothing
Nods
to
at the
do
officer,
with
and you get cut off mid-sentence again with another butt of the rifle, this time just straight to your throat. You take 2 more damage. Okay, you guys at the door, the terminal is powered on, and the hallway seems quiet. What do you want to do?
Get that fucking door open.
Somebody's got to hack the terminal.
I'm readying myself as soon as that door opens to rush into that room and try and find Julian.
That is a 9.
That is a 9. So you hack into the terminal, and the door cracks a little bit and then freezes. So you can see this much gap into that next room.
Can I try and squeeze through the door?
Yeah, roll.
It's a 9.
You are able to get part way through. You're a half on one side of the door and half on the other.
And then I'm just tracing the room with my light, seeing which way is which.
This is a hallway, and there's a turn that goes up and around to the right, and it continues forward straight from there, deeper into other choices. Why don't you roll wisdom to see if you have an idea where Julian might have went?
8.
You're pretty sure you need to take a right here at the first right, but after that, you're not exactly sure where he went.
I'm going to call out to Reggie and Enzo very quietly through the door and go, I think he went right. I'm going to go ahead and go that way. Whenever you guys get through the door, go right, and then I'll message you. And I'm going to start heading down right.
You head that way around deeper into the ship. Then it's my turn. So Enzo and Reggie, you hear the wet sound somewhere close to you. Julian, the lieutenant commander gets back down in your face and says, you're going to start by telling me what you saw at the space station.
Well, you see, it all started, and it was pitch black, and then the door opened, and there was this blinding light, and all of a sudden, I was on the space station. It was all space and station-like, and I'm maximum disrespect.
Okay.
And
he lets you continue on for like a while, longer than you thought. Like you braced for an injury for a while before that, but he lets you continue on.
So there were these 2 employees, and they were chit-chatting over the corner, and they came over, and they were like, oh, who are you guys? And I was like, hey, do you know where the bathroom is? And I am stretching it out, just trying to buy time. And I tell him the truth, and I tell him everything that happened. It's just in a very long-winded way.
Why don't you roll charisma to see if he is patient enough to get his details the long way, or if he starts beating them out?
11.
Okay, so he listens to you ramble, but you are sharing the details he wants, though, right? Like the monster and that ship.
Yeah.
Do you tell him everything?
Yeah.
You tell him
Like
everything?
who we are and shit?
Oh, well, no, about what I saw in the spaceship, because that's what
he asked about the space station.
Okay.
Yeah, everything about the space station.
So you tell him everything about the space station. And then it's your guys' turns. So what do you guys want to do?
I would like to make another check to get to Julian, but stealthily.
Okay.
Easy.
Well, roll wisdom just to first figure out which way to go.
Double 6.
You realize that you know the layout of it partway through. You're like, I've seen this before. It must be this way. And you turn the hallway and you are met with several people that weren't expecting you to come around the hallway, come around the corner, who scramble for their guns.
Before they can take position, I'm knifing the first one in the neck with scrap knife. That's going to be a 6.
You take 5 damage as you charge a guy and he just brings up his rifle and blasts you in the face with the butt of it. And the other guy will resolve the rest of that on their turn.
Are they close enough to me now? Could I hear them in the other room?
Roll wisdom to see if you can hear the scuffle. He is relatively close to you.
12.
Yes, you hear the sound of somebody else being
Yeah.
hit in the face.
I look back at the commander lieutenant. You hear that? That's the sound of incompetence. Assuming that somebody is winning.
He looks at one of the other guys in the room and says, go check on that. And one of the other guys in the room leaves. Let's move to Reggie and Enzo.
I'm going to keep going out the door.
Yeah.
Let me go first trying to hack it before you use your strength on it.
Okay.
So that is going to be an 11.
The door opens most of the way and you both can walk.
Okay.
How much access can I get from this terminal?
So you have access to the security cameras. What do you want to look at?
I want to see basically the section that we're going towards, what's going on those parts of the ship. How many cameras can it really have? So it's just going to be each room, right? I'm just going to go through them.
Yeah.
Like count how many guys they are and where's everyone kind of at.
Yeah, you see the hallways ahead of you. The first few are clear. You find the one of Spencer being clocked in the face.
I laugh when I see it too.
And you see Julian tied up
And I laugh some more. These guys.
into the bridge where there's people working on the consoles and shit, and somebody there that looks like a captain or something. So the door is open more. Reggie, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm backing Spencer up.
So Spencer is quite a few turns away. Which way are you going? Are you going to try to roll wisdom, see if you know which way he went? Reggie, you're going to make a roll for me. Wisdom roll then.
I get very lost. I rolled a 3.
The gushing sound comes back, and you look up at the last moment before it drops on top of you. And you aren't even being grabbed by the creature in its lesser gushy form. You're going to take some damage from that. You take 4 damage from that.
What
Cool.
I would like to do, since that guy hit me with the butt of his gun and I was trying to stab him anyways, I would like to put my gun to the front of his face and shoot him through the skull.
Roll.
13.
Roll your damage.
6 damage.
So you blast this guy in the face, and his helmet is now on fire. Then we're back to the interrogation. He's talking to you, Julian. He says, so that's what happened on the station. What about before that?
I think you got bigger problems on your hand right now.
Oh, yeah? And what might that be?
The sound of Spency's gun just goes off. And pow! You know, you keep acting like you got the big fish, but you got bigger problems than me right now. And the fact that you're not taking the time to realize that means that you're probably gonna die in the next couple minutes.
Just roll charisma. Telling him what I guess you believe is probably the real truth. 10. He stops and he's like, perhaps you're right. And he walks out of the room.
And when he leaves, I start trying to get out of whatever. Just
There's still a guard there, and he hits you again with the butt of his gun.
oh, I didn't see you there.
He's like standing behind you.
I'm still fucking with this computer, and I want to see if I could get into the life support.
Okay.
It's going to be an 11.
What do you want to do with the life support?
I want to turn off the life support on the bridge where all the captain and all those motherfuckers are at.
Areas are not sealed off right now. Those areas are not like sealed off into small sections. So turning off the life support on just the bridge wouldn't be enough. Does that make sense? Because it's connected to the hallways that Spencer's fighting in, that connect to the hallways that lead back over to where you are at this open bulkhead door.
We could just walk to the bridge right now. There's no door in the way.
No, you just walk to the bridge.
All right, then I'm going to move on, and I'm
Go
going to go. Let's say I saw the thing on top of Reggie, and I just start heading that way.
You could stay there and hack the doors. That's just going to be another turn.
I think Reggie can handle himself is a thing.
Oh yeah, there's 3 guys on you. You need to roll some defy dangers. 2 guys that were there when you came out, and 1 came out of a door a few doors down the hallway.
That's going to be a 10.
Okay,
Natural 8 plus 2.
roll me another one.
That's going to be a 9.
So Enzo, you're trying to get to Reggie? Or no? Trying to get to Spencer.
I'm going to keep going with my plan, and I'm going to keep trying to hack this shit.
Roll to hack the doors.
That's a 9.
We're going to do odds or evens, and you tell me what door you want to close, and we'll roll odds and evens. You can try and close one door a turn.
Okay, I just want to close the main door to the fucking bridge.
Odds or evens?
Odds.
I rolled a 2. It doesn't move. Reggie, what do you want to do about this gloop on you?
Oh, I'm getting this thing off me, bro. I don't know what it's got. Probably stinks. I have to use power over others to kind of get this thing off me. So I'm going to reuse my D6 and my D8 for this roll here, sir. It's going to be a 9.
Were you just trying to rip it off you, or did you try to like deal it damage?
I'm not trying to deal damage. I'm just trying to get it off me. Just use all my strength to get this thing off me.
You throw it off you, but can you also, because of your appetite being mismatched, can you roll me a Constitution?
An 8.
All right, we'll come back to that then. Julian, what's your plan now?
I turn to the guard. Look, guy, they don't pay you enough to be dealing with the likes of me. You know that I'm not the bad guy here. So you're gonna walk out of this room and actually go do something worthwhile and help your commander.
Roll charisma.
13.
What a roll.
Looks at you and then walks over to the doorway and then looks out the doorway at Spencer jackrabbiting around gunfire. And then it's your turn, Spencer.
So it's my turn again. I'm going to stab scrap knife into the guy that I just shot into the face and then use him as a human shield.
Roll to stab a guy.
That's going to be a 9.
That's a mixed result. Roll your damage and you take damage.
That is a 5.
I rolled a 7. So you take 7 damage, but you do kill this guy with 5. As you stab this guy and he falls dead as his partner across the hall,
I fall dead in that moment.
you fall to the ground unconscious. Enzo.
I'm gonna keep trying this door thing. I think that might be the easiest way for us to get rid of like a big, large group of people.
All right, same door?
Yeah.
Odds or even? Well, actually, unless you want to roll again and try to get a full success, unless you think that's better odds.
I'll roll again. Still a mixed result in 8.
Why don't we still do the 50-50 check?
Odd.
Okay, so that door begins to slowly close, and you see people on the bridge start to look back in the camera like, what the fuck is the door? And the bridge is sealed off from the rest of the ship.
Because I still have control of life support, right? I'm gonna turn off oxygen in that, or suck out all the oxygen in that room.
You start to change the atmosphere in there to contain no oxygen. Julian, this guard is temporarily distracted as he's looking down the hallway at his friend murdering your friend.
I'm gonna try and bust out of the chair with my strength.
You got strength?
No, 10. That's a 10.
Managed to just break part of the chair. You just wiggle furiously. It falls over and breaks part of the chair, and your bindings come free.
Can Enzo see me on the cameras?
Probably.
I stand up and I take my mask off. I whip out my badge and I walk out the hallway and I hold it in front of all the CD guys. And then I pop Spency in the head.
What?
All right.
What?
Still need to roll charisma because of the circumstances.
10.
Okay, so
Why?
you do that, and the guys stand down. They're a little confused. They stand down, and then the lieutenant commander comes back and just starts fucking yelling at you.
And I start yelling at him back, and I'm like, didn't I not tell you? Armed and dangerous, and you're just gonna let this psychopath run a full all over your ship?
What was going on clearly from the beginning, we could have just ended this right away when we got to the station.
No. You guys are, you can't, but you don't know how to run an operation. You CD guys don't know any respect these days.
Don't understand what it's like out here for people who actually have to deal with the shit.
I'm in the shit. I'm here right now, and this is the life, and you guys have been fucking it up for way too long.
He gets pissed off and walks away from you. Towards the bridge, which is now a closed door. Well, Reggie, you're fighting an alien. What are you doing?
Well, then I get up, I grab my axe, and I'm going to have to start going to town here.
Okay,
on this
roll
bad boy.
Pop it up.
All right, okay, so that is an 8.
So you trade damage with the monster. It does 5 damage to you. All right.
And I rolled a 1, so that's...
You wing it, and then roll Constitution again. Well, if you get a full success, I'll stop.
It's an 11.
Okay, then whatever that was, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Ooh.
But you're still fighting the monster. Enzo, you saw some crazy shit happen. What are you doing?
I'm gonna head towards where Julian's at. but I'll pass Reggie. So I'm gonna head towards Reggie then, I guess. My goal is to get to Julian.
You get over to where Reggie is, and he is in a axe fight with the sludge monster in a hallway.
Is it connected to him, or can I take a shot of it?
I just attacked it and it hit me. That's about it.
But I can take a shot?
Yeah.
That is a 10. I get to do a lot of damage. So it's going to be a 4, a 4, and a 2. 10 damage.
10 damage with your lightning gun?
Yes, sir. Because that fighter a +4 to everything now. And then because it's the magic gun, gets +4 and above 10, or 10 and above.
You blast it with the lightning gun energy, and it boils and ripples and shreds apart and melts into the floor.
And I don't even stop. I just keep on going to fucking where Julian's at.
You just
So I just take a shot and I just keep on walking.
You're just marching back. Let's cut back over to Julian. What does Julian want to do?
Try to reason with them, de-escalate the situation. This has gotten way out of hand. Just let me talk to the guys. This needs to end. Like, nobody else needs to die.
And the lieutenant commander looks back at you and says, do it then, if you're so competent.
I will. I puff out my chest and put my arms on my hip. And I go and I call Enzo. Ring, 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 ring.
Yeah.
Ring.
Hey, what's up? What are you doing?
Listen, Enzo, this isn't gonna turn out well for anybody. I think it's best that if we just end it now and give up now, we'll get out of this. We'll make it out of this.
Yeah, those are the only 3 guys left, dude. I killed everyone else.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your life, because your life is in danger.
From who?
From the CD.
Okay, so if you can kill one of those guys, I'm on my way right now. Okay, bye. And I hang up.
So I go back to the commander, dejected. Fine, just kill him. I just get it over with.
All right. And then the men line up and take cover. Now, knowing Enzo is coming, they line up and take cover in doorways with their rifles pointed in the direction. The bridge is trying to fix the electronic shit you did. So I'm going to do 2 odds and evens, one for the door controls and one for the control of the system. Well, actually, they should probably only get to do 1 a turn. I'm going to say they're trying to fix the oxygen levels first. Actually, somebody call odds or evens. They're working on it. Reggie and Enzo, you're marching to the hallway before the bridge.
No, I am going to make myself invisible before I go over there.
Forgot you could do that. So you go invisible.
See, I got a 9, so it's a 5th.
The negative.
I think it does take a negative, yeah. Only invisible when you aren't moving, so that's not going to work. You're spotted before you turn invisible or something else betrays your presence. You take -1 ongoing to casting magic until you're able to rest. I think this is what I had to do last time. I think I'll just take the -1, and I'm going to tell Reggie to stay back a couple feet, and I'm going to walk over there as quietly as possible.
Begin walking daintily down the hallway as there are men with guns trained, soldiers with guns trained down the hallway. Reggie, he tells you to wait. What's your plan?
I have to wait.
He'll know my signal.
I call Reggie and I say, hey, come to the bridge.
You get a message from Julian that says, come to the bridge.
Hey, man, it's over. We've
Are you-
lost.
Are you Donnie Brascoing us, dude? Well, I hear this. I'm right there, right?
You're sneaking up. Yeah, what's your plan, Enzo?
How far can I get, do you think?
I mean,
Like,
you're
how big is a hallway? Like, would I have to like make agility checks to get around people, or could I just stay close to the wall and get all the way towards?
No, you have to walk straight down the middle of it because they're in the doorways on right and left sides of the hallway, pointing their guns down the hall. So if you walked straight down the middle of the hallway.
All right, I'm gonna walk straight down the middle of the hallway, and I'm gonna walk up to the general, and I'm gonna point blank shoot him with my lightning gun.
Okay, roll to shoot them with your lightning gun.
So it's a 13, but -1, so a 12. And the damage is 5, 2, 2. So 9 damage.
You blast the shit out of this person, and he falls to his knees, but you become visible. And then the soldiers turn around with their guns, and they're all gonna shoot at you. And there was
Just me, or is Julian's there too, right?
Julian walked away into the room right there, where probably the room was being interrogated. No, they're gonna shoot you.
All right, let's go. I got negative, and my intelligence is probably going to not be good. But let's go. I got to make 2 rolls. So the first one is a 14 with -1, so a 13. And the next one is a 9.
All right, I'm going to give you half damage on the next resolution. 1 damage. Okay,
Huh.
and Reggie has been told 2 different things. And I feel like Reggie needs to make an important decision. You got a message from Julian saying, we need to surrender. And then you got, Enzo told you that when he goes over there and starts this fight, you're supposed to pop out and back him up. Those 2 options are obviously diametrically opposed.
So as like a gun for hire, what I'm thinking is that he would go with Julian's mode of dialogue, and then he's essentially just a hired gun, just to help them out, get their foot in, and then go from there. So Julian would be like the reasonable, air quote, reasonable person to go with.
Cool. I think that's fine. I think that makes sense. On the terms of like your character arc, since you brought it up, that is certainly where you started. How do you think Reggie feels now, having had to flee the planet, having seen Spency like murder innocent, unarmed people? Are these things that affect him in a way that he's like, fuck that? Or is he like, yep, this is the job. We're gangsters.
This is the job. We're gangsters. Then it's like I also have the bond with Enzo. Enzo shares my hunger for glory. The earth will tremble at our passing. So maybe because of that bond, because I showed him like the shadow boxing, then maybe then even though I get that message from Julian, I end up going with Enzo because of that second message.
What bonds do you have with Julian?
I honestly don't think I have any with Julian. I think I'm just gonna go with Enzo just because
You have
of
that
the bond that we have. Yeah.
and your relationship is beating ass, and he's asking you to back him up. Can Reggie come around the corner and you see the 2 guards fighting Enzo and another man laid out unconscious at Enzo's feet as he's in the middle of combat?
I gotta protect Enzo. Let's just go balls to the wall here. I'll do my appetite for one of them. Okay. All right, so I rolled a 3 with a d6 and a 2. So that's a 5 plus my strength modifier, 8. My d8 is lower.
So you throw yourself into combat and you start clubbing these guys with your fist. And one of them turns their gun into your gut and pulls the trigger, and you are wounded to the abdomen. But in that moment, Enzo can get away from the combat and steps into the next room. And in that room is Julian, the betrayer. Enzo, you walk into the room and you see
With my gun out.
with your gun out, you see Julian. He's been beaten up a little. He's like a little punched up, puffy in the face, busted nose, split lip, and he's also holding the gun that he shot Spency with.
Oh,
What the hell was,
thank
what
God
the
you're
hell was
here.
that?
I need your help.
What
What
the
was
hell
what?
was that?
What
Wow.
was what? What was
Why'd
what?
you kill Spency? What'd you do? Why'd you do that? What are you doing?
Oh, you saw that?
What are you doing?
Because he's
What's
a
going on? Drop that gun.
psychopath.
Drop that gun.
Hey, you drop your gun, and I point it back at a Mexican
Oh,
standoff.
don't you point your gun at me.
Don't point your
Don't
gun
you
at me.
point your gun at me.
You know exactly why Spency had to go down and why I couldn't let that madman run amok. He's bad for business. And you know it.
Yeah, I'm just going to shoot his ass.
All right, you're going to shoot with your science laser gun thing?
Yeah, I'm going to electrocute the shit out of him. About to get electrocuted, son. 12.
Would Julian in this moment also try to shoot Enzo if he knew he was going to shoot him? Probably, right?
Well, can I defy danger?
Yeah, well, I was going
Lightning
to
roll.
say you should roll an attack roll, and we should see who's actually faster. If you can outroll his 11. You got 11?
12.
If you can outroll his 12. A quick draw sort of mechanic.
I think I would try to dodge his attack, do a little back somersault, and then try to get the drop on it.
See if you can beat his what he just rolled, a 12, with your back somersault.
11.
You do juke out of the way because you're ready for it, but Enzo knows you as well and is one step ahead as he is the superior brain. He doesn't fire straight, he fires where he knows you're going to be, and you dodge into his electric attack, and you are fried down on the floor. We're just going to...
When your hit points are all gone, it's unconscious, right?
Yeah.
So we're just going to go... Because I got like a lot of damage on that because it was over 10. So
Yeah.
it's my regular D6 plus a D4 plus another D4.
Oh, yeah, you should roll it just so we see how bad
just,
it goes.
yeah. Because that
overkill.
that might kill me.
Instant.
Just
So the
instant death right
D6
here.
is a 4. The D4 is a 1.
All right, I'm unconscious.
And the second D4 is a 3.
I'm at -3.
Okay.
Electrocuted. You got it.
So Julian falls to the deck of this little command suite you're standing in, his body smoking from the chest wound you just gave him.
Just doing what was best for the blue dragon.
You, assumably, Enzo, return to the hallway and help Reggie finish up these last few guys. And then you are now still evacuating the bridge of oxygen. So those people are all going to die.